Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 56 of Radio Free Filler. Well, Arlington's new case count seems to be flattening out, at least for now. Hopefully we won't see any spikes from the Memorial Day barbecues, but either way, we're still here with another show. Now, some of you may be wondering what's left for us to do. Well, so am I. I know! Who are you? My name is Eager Beeper, preteen sensation. Well, all right. We'll do a show about the show, about the making of the show, of the making of the show, about the show, about the show, the show about a show, about the making of a show, of the making of the show was a real big hit. So a show about the show, about the making of the show, of the making of the show, about the show, about the show, extends the concept just a little bit. Someone get this kid some oxygen. We'll do a show about the show, about the making of the show, of the making of the show, about the show, about the show, and the making of the show, about the making of the show, of the making of the show, about the show, about the show will be the sequel. Is that it? Is that the end? Yeah, I know the ending doesn't rhyme and it's kind of short, but I did put a lot of hooks in it. Actually, you just avoided getting the hook yourself. But now, continuing with our new invention feature, we tried to pre-record a phone interview, but something went wrong, and we only wound up with the guest's remarks. Still, there's enough here for everyone to understand what's going on from his end of the conversation, so we now present this week's new invention. Look, I haven't got all day for this. Why don't I just tell you about it and let you work out the technical kinks on your own time? I don't care if the problem is on my end. I'm an inventor. You can't expect me to deal with all this new technology. What, are we on? All right, here we go. Hello, people, hello. Yes, I'm here to tell you all about my new invention. It's called the Seeing Dog Eye. No, that's not a typo. It's the Seeing Dog Eye. What does it do? Well, for one thing, it enables the user to clearly and instantly see any and all dogs in the area. Well, it's good for people who are afraid of dogs and want to stay away from them. Well, but it's also good for people who really like dogs and want to be near them. It's even better for actual pet owners. Never again will you need to sing, oh where has my little dog gone?" You will instantly know the exact location. Or maybe someone who's just shopping for a pet. Never again will you ask the musical question, how much is that doggy in the window? You see, the Seeing Dog Eye has a special added feature. It will instantly display the exact weight and dimensions of the doggy in the window. You can even choose between inches and centimeters, or pounds and kilograms. There's even a stone option for you Anglophiles. What? Of course it's intended for use by humans. It's to help humans with seeing dogs. You thought it was an aid for dogs with failing vision? Don't be ridiculous. And now we have a brand new guest. Please welcome Mr. Squire Huckster from the famous School of Talent, Art, and Judgment. Hiya, Bob. Thanks for having me. Well, it's been a slow week. Now, tell me all about the famous School of Talent, Art, and Judgment. Who are some of your most famous students? Actually, Bob, we have no famous students. This is a school for ordinary people who want to become famous. Oh, I get it. So, do you have any famous instructors? Sorry, Bob, you still don't get it. So, what is the famous School of Talent, Art, and Judgment all about? Actually, it's about the art of convincing people with little or no talent that they can become famous. So, where does the judgment come in? Oh, we don't teach anything about that. We just know that the general paying public doesn't have any judgment. How's that been working for you? It works just fine. Every so often, the public suddenly falls in love with some kid who has no talent, and then a whole lot of suckers decide that they can make it too. So they come and take your classes after they've paid. So can you give us a sample of what your classes are like? I can, but I won't. I'm not here to give anything away. Isn't there anything you can share with us? How about one of the music lessons? Nothing doing. That industry is too tough. You can get sued just for singing a song that has a middle C in it. Tell you what, though. I'll let you have a sample from one of our special one-on-one telephonic writing sessions. Okay, just read me what you've got so far.
Bob and Julie were parked in the back seat of their 1957 Model A at the old abandoned drive-in. Julie had taken off her stockings but left her shoes on just in case. "I'm looking forward to seeing your double feature," said Bob.
Hold it.
"What's the matter?"
I've got a problem with your dialogue.
"What's wrong with it?"
Look, I know Bob and Julie, and Bob's a get-up-and-go guy. He would never have the patience to sit through a double feature.
"Oh, I guess you're right. What about Julie?
What about her?
What about her dialogue?"
Let's see. Julie's the girl in this scene. Well, so far it sounds about right.
"So how can I fix Bob's line?"
You can just cut out Bob's line. Now, go on.
Bob moved toward her, slowly, slowly. The flickering lights guided his hands as they climbed aboard the frigate of his passion, sailed across the ocean of his desire, and explored Julie's burgeoning continent until, at last, he finally planted his flag.
Hold it.
"What's the matter?"
What do you mean by burgeoning?
"I don't know. It just sounded good."
Try another word. How about verdant?
"Can I take a second to look that up?"
Don't waste time arguing with the instructor.
"But wait a minute. The online dictionary says that verdant means green with grass or other lush vegetation."
Look, we do this my way or not at all.
"Oh, okay."
Now, that bit about Bob planting his flag?
"Is that too risque?"
Hold it.
"What's the matter?"
You're just a student writer. You don't get to use words like risque.
"Oh, sorry. What were you saying about Bob's flag?"
Oh, the flag's all right, but you've got him planting it too soon. Your modern reader wants this kind of scene more drawn out, more time-consuming. Like it needs to take, what's the word?
"Longer?"
Back off, kid. I'm the instructor.
"Oh, sorry."
What this bit needs is more detail, more play-by-play, more of a blow-by-blow.
"Okay, I think I understand."
Now, let's try a little exercise. Try imagining that you're playing the part of Bob and you're in the back seat with Betty.
"Don't you mean Julie?"
No, I mean Betty. You get Betty. Julie is mine. Now, just picture the scene from Bob's point of view. What do you notice?
"Okay, I'm playing Bob." I'm becoming Bob. Now I'm really Bob. Boy, am I Bob. I'm so totally Bob. Hi there, I'm Bob. Okay, now I'm Bob, and I'm in the car. I'm Bob, and I'm in the back seat. I'm Bob, and I see Julie.
You mean Betty?
No, I see Julie. She's sitting next to Betty. Hey, you're there too. It's getting crowded in here.
Try rolling down a window.
Okay. Hey, you're right. There seems to be a lot more room now.
That's because Julie and I got out while your back was turned.
Say, what are you two doing out there on the hood?
Let's just say I'm monitoring your stream of consciousness.
But what's Julie doing?
None of your business. Just get on with your exploration.
Okay. I'm roaming and wandering, wandering and roaming. Uh-oh. I think I just got lost under the steering wheel.
You're thinking too big. Now, get in the back seat and try to imagine yourself as just Bob's left hand.
Okay. All right. I'm Bob, and I'm getting in the back seat with Betty again. Now I'm Bob, but I'm slowly shifting my thoughts into my right hand.
Left hand.
Could I be ambidextrous?
No. Get in that left hand and try to concentrate.
Okay. Now I'm in Bob's left hand. Now it's my left hand. Say, this is great. I'm actually becoming my left hand.
Now, tell me what you're experiencing.
Fingers. Fingers. Where did all these come from?
Never mind that. Remember, you're exploring Betty's continent.
Okay. Betty's continent. Betty's continent. Betty's continent. Let's hope so anyway. So far, so good. Say, I think I like Betty's continent better than Julie's continent. At least it's not green. I'm still exploring, roaming and wandering, wandering and roaming, roaming and wandering. Hey, look, a peninsula.
That's all for today. Now, go home and wash up.
And that's all you get. I think that's probably all we can get away with. Now, our next act is going to feature a medley of hit songs by a famous recording artist who, sadly, is no longer with us. We've assembled a fine group of young performers who can't wait for their chance to pay tribute to this tragic fallen star, this genuine genius, this lost legend, this...
Sorry to interrupt, but I have some bad news.
What's the matter?
We have to call the tribute off.
But the kids have spent the last several weeks rehearsing. Why can't they perform?
It's a legal problem. We couldn't clear the rights to perform any of the songs.
So what do we do now?
Well, it turns out that Old Ben has volunteered to do one of his original songs instead.
Old Ben? I didn't know he was a songwriter.
Neither did I, but he says he's been at it for 50 years.
It'll never work. Nobody wants to listen to some old guy they've never heard of.
That may be true, but he's here, and we're stuck.
Well then, I guess we'd better bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes Old Ben Blue.
Well, the years have come and the years have gone, and the tributes just keep rolling on, 'cause everyone wants to perform a tune by a singer, a writer who died too soon. would seem right that they get preferred over all the others who never got heard. Yeah, I know those old tunes bring back memories. Yeah, I know there's a charm in what they do, but I wonder if folks just started listening to someone else, they might find something new. Died too soon, 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 died too soon. We get the idea. And as for me, I really can't complain. I'm still alive, at least that much is plain. But all in all, there's this much I'll allow. If I'd just died sooner, I'd have it made by now. If I'd have just died sooner, I'd have it made by now.
Well, what do you know? Not too bad for an old guy. Greetings, Earthling. Well, it's our old friend Mullet. Don't change the subject. I'm sorry. What is your subject for today? I have a complaint. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there something wrong with the show? Nothing unusual. Well, that's at least a little bit of a relief. What is it that you're complaining about? International Asteroid Day. International Asteroid Day? Your powers of repetition are competent but irrelevant. So what's the matter? Don't you like asteroids? I am ambivalent on the subject of asteroids as such. Is there something wrong with it being observed on June 30th? Does that conflict with one of your own special days? We have no special days. All days are the same to us. So what is your complaint? The name, International Asteroid Day. So what's wrong with it? It is another example of the arrogant narrow-mindedness of you Earthlings. Your vision is restricted to the nations on your own miserable little planet. So what should the name be? Universal Asteroid Day. Oh yeah, I guess I should have thought of that. Somebody should have. Well, it's always refreshing to get an alternate viewpoint from a member of the indignant population. Now we have another special guest. It's the noted historian Henry Steele Silverware, and he's here to share his latest discovery. Thank you. This latest discovery is rather an unusual find. It is a diary that was unearthed right here in Arlington. The actual dates are indeterminate because specific months and days were never specified. However, it appears to be a year-by-year recording of the thoughts of the writer. What I have with me now is not the actual diary, but a carefully prepared translation into English from the original entries. I shall now begin. Year 1. At the end of my first year of isolation, I have decided to record some of my thoughts. It is partly my own attempt to stave off loneliness and also to leave behind some record of my suffering. It is difficult to write under these conditions, so I will close for now, hopefully to resume as my circumstances improve. Year 2. It is difficult to ascertain the exact passage of time here, but it is my guess that another year has elapsed. That is why I am identifying this note as Year 2. I have had a sense of a gradual cooling, followed by a later period of warming. I associate this with the passage of seasons. Beyond that, there is little for me to add at this time. Year 3. I will call it another year for want of a better word. I remain in isolation and I remain unhappy, but I will still cling to the hope for a better future. I will leave it at that for now. Year 4. How long can this continue? I have received no communication concerning the length of my confinement, and the uncertainty is starting to prey on my nerves. I must hold on. Year 5. This torment goes on and on. Sometimes I feel that I want to scream. However, as a rational being, I must hold myself in check. Year 6. Ah! Year 7. Yow! Year 8. Well, that didn't seem to help much, but it did make me feel a little better. I don't think anyone could hear me, or if they could, well, it has not brought about any change in my situation. Year 9. Hey! 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 Can anybody hear me? Year 10. Yeah! Year 11. I must get a grip on myself. This shouting and calling and yelling isn't serving any useful purpose. I must utilize my consciousness in rational thought. I must either devise a means of coping with my situation or... Year 12. Coping is a futile exercise because it only results in more of the same intolerable experience. Well, I call it intolerable, and yet I continue to tolerate it. If I tolerate it, I cannot logically refer to it as being intolerable. However, I may be over-intellectualizing. Year 13. Aye! Year 14. I am now forced to abandon the double broken mirror theory that I was in the process of developing. Year 15. Surely there must be more to my life than this. There must be some greater purpose than to simply suffer in solitude. I sometimes tell myself that this diary will somehow justify my existence, but I have no assurance that it will ever be read or understood. Year 16. Lately I find myself experiencing a deep and profound longing for companionship. This goes beyond the simple freedom of my earlier aspirations. Freedom is a wonderful thing, to be sure, but now I feel a real need to love and to be loved. Year 17. I was surprised, astonished beyond words, to suddenly find that I had been released. What a thing to experience fresh air, sunlight, the soft earth beneath my feet. And then what a shock to find myself surrounded by bugs. I can't stand bugs. Worse yet, these were huge bugs, just as big as me. And then came the ultimate insult. I was informed that I, too, am a bug, just like all the others, and that I must now attempt a romantic liaison with another bug. This is too much for me. I have now returned underground, where I now complete this, my final diary entry, before I finally leave this terrible world. And that concludes my reading of the Cicada's Diary.
And that also concludes our show for this week.
Be sure to tune in again for the next installment of Radio Free Filler.